barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. So let's talk about the Canelo contract. I know nothing about the contract, I'll say that, but I'm using my common sense. But I got a handful of DMs asking me to explain what I could explain about it. First of all, I want to say this: if a man builds his brand to be worth $365 million, you have to applaud him. I think that's incredible. That's incredible money. That's generational wealth, and that's what we genuinely all strive for. And the short form of it, because one of the immediate questions I got asked was this a better contract than Floyd? From a fundamental perspective, it's not. It's basically two contracts of Floyd, because Floyd had 6 fights for $300 million versus Canelo 11 fights for $360 million. But at the end of the day, for real, if you had to fight 11 fights or if you had to fight 6 fights, you still would do the fights. But it also says that from a business perspective, in terms of making a deal, Al Heyman made the better deal than Oscar De La Hoya. But that's for you guys to decide on the other end. But I want to talk about the contract and people talking about, is it guaranteed? Is it real money? I would say this, and this is just me doing $10 deals, $10,000 deals, $100,000 deals, etc. It's based off potential growth. So I would say it's not guaranteed, but the ceiling is $365 million. You guys remember the incentive-laced contract that Master P made with Ricky Williams? Remember that type of contract? Well, combine that with the guarantee, and I believe a portion of his contract is guaranteed, and a portion of it is incentive-based. And what makes me believe this is because the zone technically is in the red as it relates to building a brand here in America. They haven't made $1 million yet. They're in the red on their 2 fight cards as it relates to their card this week and their card October 6th. They haven't made any money, so I would gather hopefully Canelo got a signing bonus, and he can grow from there. But $365 million is a lot of money. 11 fights is a lot of fights, and as it relates to the 11 fights, you guys cannot complain. If you celebrate this contract, you cannot complain about the opponents he faced. Okay, because with him signing this contract, what do you want to do? You want to protect your investments, right? It's like me. Many of my buildings are in gang-infested, graffiti-infested neighborhoods. When I get graffiti on my buildings, I make sure I paint at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I don't go 8 o'clock in the morning because everybody's asleep. I want the community to see me out there painting the building. And the reason why I do this is because the kids are coming home from the tenants, and the gangbangers are waking up. The gangbangers are finally waking up in their neighborhood, doing what they need to do. And I want them to see me painting this building. I want them to see that there's a man the same colors, and whether you're Mexican or black, at the end of the day, we all come from the same tree. And I want them to see me do it. And I said that to say I'm protecting my investment, because it gives me an opportunity to have a conversation with the gangbangers in the community and in the neighborhood. And you can't go into, my humble opinion, I don't believe you can go into a gang-infested community and pull both guns out at the same time. You understand? I think you got to let them tell you they have the gun first. They're in charge first, and then you build the relationship from there. And I said that to say this: the zone is going to protect their investment. Okay, so if they have an 11-fight deal, and let's say hypothetically it's all guaranteed, they got to make sure he wins all 11 fights. You understand what I'm saying? So I would say Triple G will get signed because it protects a date, a major date, May 5th. I can see it's going to be tough sledding them making fights. It will be tough because they don't have the opponents yet. And I don't know how much money is left over in the contract. I don't know how much the zone is worth. I don't know. People say the owner is a billionaire, but the owner got 10, 15 other businesses. He can't put all his liquidity in one business. So you can't say if the owner is worth $2 billion, you can't say the zone is worth $1 billion, because he has businesses in other countries and other cities, developments. He got business partners, and a lot of that money is tied up. Multi-millionaires don't have a lot of cash. They have $1 gazillion in credit, okay? And I need you guys to understand that. Like, when I go to a bank and I need a loan, I don't have $1.8 million to put down on a building. I got $400,000. I put 25% down, 25% down, and they trust me with the 1.4, and I pay it back. So they're giving me a loan for $1.4 million, and that's typically how it works. You know what I mean? Jay-Z said it best. You don't go throw your money in the club. What's better than that? Credit. Or whatever he says, throwing your money in the club was better than that credit. And at the end of the day, whether it's hood credit or bank credit, we all want it. We all desire it at the end of the day. And they're banking on Canelo to come through for them over the next potentially 5 years. I'm sure there's an out clause in there somewhere that protects both ends. Same thing with the Manny Pacquiao deal with Bob Arum. They somehow, some way got out of that $25 million guarantee with Manny Pacquiao, and that's how it worked. So, but overall, I want to congratulate Canelo for building his brand, because at the end of the day, you understand, I know I don't like Golden Boy at all, but I'm just speaking from a man's perspective, from a man that goes into life wanting to build generational wealth for his family. I have to do nothing but applaud and salute that. The same way I applaud and salute every fighter that makes multi-millions, and Floyd Mayweather, who turned it into $1 billion business. And I did a few videos about a month ago. I'm fucking dripping in sweat because let me tell the story. So Floyd Mayweather, he'll never get the full credit he desires, and Al Heyman will never get the full credit they deserve, because they were the first to do this type of guarantee with this amount of zeros, and now everyone is following suit. The zone is a subsidy of the mindset of Al Heyman, okay? Canelo's contract is a subsidy of Al Heyman's mindset, okay? Someone had to break the mold. Someone had to be first, right? It's like now there are so many different car companies, but the first person to make a car was the Ford, right? If I'm not mistaken. The first person to fly a plane, quote unquote, was the Wright brothers. And now there's Delta, American Airlines, American Eagle. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, someone had to break the mold and develop this mindset, and it's Al Heyman. And Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather will never get the credit that they deserve, because they force people's hands. If you want me, you got to buy me. All right? And yes, I have the potential to earn this, but but I need you to take a leap of faith with me, okay? So, and I remember that interview vividly when Floyd Mayweather was at the Final Four, and Charles Barkley was asking him for his earring. You remember that shit? He was like, "Man, you worth $300 million. I mean, let me hold that earring." Something like that. I remember he and Kenny Smith did that interview on CBS. So congratulations to Canelo. He deserves it. He turned this brand into a $300 million. But moreover, we got to salute and celebrate Al Heyman's mind, because without Al Heyman going to CBS and Showtime, there's no Canelo. So at the end of the day, so you guys may say I'm biased, but I'm actually being factual and actual about this. So congratulations. I'm fucking dripping in wet. I went straight from the gym to the car because I'm taking my son out of school again. We going to the Dodger game today. So I'm excited about that. His teacher called in sick today. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take Lincoln to the Dodger game, because they ain't going to do nothing but play. And you know when you got a substitute teacher, y'all know what it's like. Everyone's had a substitute teacher, man. They just give them busy work. And I was a teacher for 7 years. You don't want to stress out the substitute teacher. So at the end of the day, that's what we own. We going to the Dodger game, game 5. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have a Dodger dog. Hot dog, but I'm drenched. But you know what I do too sometimes too? When I drive home, because it takes about 15 minutes for me to drive home, I use my car as a sauna. So I can cut my water weight. It's just water weight, but it looks good after you take a shower. You can see all your abs and shit. You know what I mean? You feel like you're cutting weight. You know what I mean? So this is like stealing just for the next 30 minutes until I go home and drink some water or some shit and eat. But prior to that, you know, I could see all of them. You know, I'm about right now. I'm about 8.5% body fat right now. So I'm looking good. By the end of the week, I'll be below 8, somewhere in there. So say it's Wednesday. Yeah, I got 3 more days. I work out Saturday too, and then I eat Saturday, and then I gain 5 pounds, and I do it all over again. that's my life. So anyways, man, barbershop conversations. Hopefully me working out inspires you, and hopefully I gave you guys some insight on the Canelo contract. So the zone is banking on Canelo. Canelo, in real all honesty, can push the zone to a competitive space, or they can bankrupt them. In real life, they can push them out of the market. If Canelo loses consecutive fights, let's say he loses to this guy. Guys, let me tell you, there's no way Canelo loses this fight just signing a contract. There's no flipping way. There's no flipping way. All right, I don't care what you say. If he's winning the fight, they're going to say, we're going to give you $1 million to lose this fight. I mean, there's just no way. There's just no flipping way Canelo can lose December 15th under any circumstances. I'm just being real. That's just what I believe. And I believe his talent will prevail. It ain't going to be no cheating or nothing like that. But anyways, man. So that's it. So hopefully I gave you some insight, and hopefully I inspired you to get to the gym, work out, do what you got to do. But I salute y'all. I love y'all. And we on to the next one, guys. Have a great Wednesday. Peace, guys.